the stream is my opinion and should be taken just as such. My opinion. Um, I'll just call out everything that I see. It may or may not be nitpicky. Doesn't mean I don't like your course. I'm just giving you everything. Just kind of a stream of consciousness type thing. Also, there may be random cat interruptions as per usual. Just how it's going to be for now. I'm going to do this one a little quicker because let me double. I'm trying to getting all my designers mixed up. This one's Cody's course. I've given him a couple notes on it already. So since I've already passed along some stuff, I'll probably do this one a little quicker. But I believe kind of the general notes I had going into uh, on the last playthrough was like the lighting is awesome in terms of drama. It gets a little bit away from you in a couple spots, and where it gets a little low, and you have like entire holes in shadow. And there was a couple times where the holes don't really necessarily fill the land space for them. Yeah, this one is it's kind of long. It's a little narrow. I think all of the severe fairway snaking is a little unnecessary. Oh, I completely forgot I left it on beginners clubs. Okay, so this is going to be very interesting. We're going to play from the tips with beginners clubs. It's going to be very interesting. At least it should be nice automatic swinging. Yeah, for this one I think like the bunkers are very big compared to the size of the fairway. I think they're just a little out of proportion visually. But other than that, it's a solid hole. I think this is one that doesn't quite fill the area. Like you don't have to completely block it out, but like maybe a lone tree or two here, or like a little, even if it doesn't have to be trees, you could just have a little native area with some bushes and rocks and stuff. Just something to break up this big open green area, and something a little to the left as well. Other than that, you have this nice avenue for this hole, and it fills it up nicely. I think the bunker sculpting got like there's a couple spots you can see that maybe rushed is the wrong word, but there's just a couple little things missing. Like you can see there's a little spot there where the brush didn't quite cover it, and so there's because there's basically no bunker there, the game does sculpting stuff weird. So there's you won't get that smooth pan if you don't cover it with the brush texture. Yeah, it's a little bumpy in there. Again, as a whole, the bunker sculpting is good, but it probably needs a little bit of polish in some spots. But the ideas are there. You don't have to bat at my microphone, I know. Also, I believe I have, including this one, 3 left, which is just nice. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Please stop. Please stop attacking my microphone. Dang it, you're doing so well today. You were nice and calm and friendly. The instant I start streaming, you start attacking my mic and biting my arm again. It's like you can just tell when I'm live. I think this is the one with the kind of shadow issues. Well, this is a great looking hole, but like the only shadows on this hole are all directly behind it and onto the green, which at least makes it consistent. So that's definitely something. Which makes it much more playable because you don't have that bright, dark, contrast going throughout the green, so that makes it hard to read. It's more just I think this could be, um, you know, you could dial up the visual drama a little bit by letting the light shine onto the green. But it's just a little minor touch. Lighting on this one is pretty cool. You could probably thin some stuff out to the left and let it light this kind of bunkers to the left a little bit. Or you could just bring the trees in and just get rid of those bunkers. That works as well. I don't think you need that little spot in the middle. I'd just fill that in. So I can barely make this fairway. Not a huge issue. I played from the tips thinking that I had it on Masters clubs, and I forgot I had bumped it to beginner clubs for testing stuff. So that's completely my fault. I wouldn't expect anybody to design for beginner clubs from the tips. That's just me making a big goof. It's going to be very interesting, though. Also, we'll see if we can make this the fastest playthrough. Partly because I've already passed along some notes, so I don't think I need to repeat myself too much. And also because I'm kind of excited to finish these up tonight. I've certainly had fun doing it, but I'm also just ready to have these done and publish them and move on to some other stuff. I definitely dig the way this hole's laid out. This one's really nice to my eye. I think this little notch here with the surfacing looks a touch weird. Like you could probably smooth that out, but that's a really minor thing. Oh, I'm doing driver off the deck, sure. I have beginner clubs. That's trivial, right? Because accident, that's why. No, I was just testing stuff for the Muni, and I forgot I had them on. I wanted to check and make sure the distances and hole designs were reasonable for beginner clubs, so I did some play testing with them and just forgot I had them on. I usually don't test courses with all clubs, but just that one, specifically because I designed it with beginners in mind. I like the sculpting here for the most part. You could probably lift those back bunkers up a little, because you can't really see them, but you're also, well, I don't know. You might be able to see them if, you weren't playing beginner clubs on accident like a moron. You might still birdie this hole, though, which is nice. I have no idea how well this is framed from the upper fairway. Or rather, I do. I've played this a couple times with Masters clubs, but I just don't remember off the top of my head how it was framed. Playability has been really solid on this one, so I don't have a whole lot of comments on that. I think my notes on this course are all just like minor visual stuff. And it's not even that there's anything really wrong with this one. I just think there's spots where, um, where you do something that's solid, but it could be like more dramatic or more visually interesting, that sort of thing. I can't help but look at this green and think that it would be a nightmare to grow grass in this spot, because all the water would just funnel right in here. It would just never be dry. Also, props for getting it to remove that light rough around it. I don't know if this course needs that bunker cut directly into um, the fairway, but see, the thing with most real life punch bowls is there's always a drainage point. It's like a semi low area, but the low point of the green still has like a spot that it can drain off to. It's usually not the absolute low point. Again, that's the most minor nitpicky thing ever. It's not an issue with the hole. It's just kind of the, I don't know. Maybe it looks funny to my eye because I don't think it's something that could really exist. I like the bunkers on around the green and stuff. I think these are really solid looking. They're framed nicely and the sculpting around them's pretty solid. You can maybe raise the back of this bunker a little bit to bring that one into play visually, but you know, that's just a minor thing. How about we just go in? The environmental work on this course is really solid as well. Yeah, I would just get rid of that little speck of stuff. It just looks a little funny. Yeah, there's a couple spots where I feel like where Cody I think he was probably making these bunkers with a circle brush and did the squiggly stuff for the outlines, and like, there's a couple spots where he didn't quite fill it all the way in and didn't catch it. That's just something to do a quick check for. It's not the end of the world, but it goes a long way to giving it a feel of polish, I guess. But yeah, so far I've definitely enjoyed this course, both from a visual perspective and in terms of playability. This is definitely up there in this contest. Well, it's kind of up there in general. It's a very solid course. I'm going to get really nitpicky with this one. There's a big group of plants back there that you can see just kind of cut into the rock. So it's again, it's fine, but it just you can tell it's an artifact that's just sticking out of the rock versus the you know like you have all these flowers that are halfway into the rock. So it just looks a little funny. No worries. I like the way this one's framed. This is nice. I don't know if you need this bunker though, especially since you can't really see it. Yeah, I mean, I just let that ditch be the hazard off to the left and call it a day. But this is a really cool hole concept. I like it. Hey Dylan, how's it going? Ooh, sit. I think this green is a little small for the length of this hole. I mean, so far you've been very consistent with like all of the whole concepts feel very natural, and they make they make logical sense. This one to me feels a little forced is the wrong word, but like it doesn't feel intuitive in the same way of like, oh yeah, of course this green is the size for this hole. Sorry, you always post your Insta stuff when I'm streaming, and I don't really want to pause the stream to go look at it. I will try to remember to do it afterwards. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. Well, it's not obvious from context. You have to kind of read between the lines there, and I'm trying to juggle multiple things. Being smart is not my it's not my wheelhouse, especially when I'm trying to play and critique and monitor the chat and not get bitten by a cat. All these things. Guilty as charged. Yeah, the idea is good. I don't know. The execution is maybe not quite there. I don't know that it needs to be this deep. It's only fair. We roasted him last night, so turnaround is fair play. Hey Patrick, how's it going? Just finishing up the last couple rookie playthroughs. And then I'll be able to fill out my judging sheet, at least, for the first pass. I don't mind how deep it is. I just think the sculpting could be cleaned up a little so that it feels a little more natural versus it just feels like flat walled. I think the walls are a little steep for it looks like you just took a really sharp edged brush and sunk it like 15 feet. Of course you do, Dylan. You have a fetish for deep bunkers. Asking if you like a particular deep bunker is like asking if the Pope's Catholic. No worries. That's like asking me if I like holes that use way too much sand as a crutch for framing. Yeah, this is a nice looking hole. I think you could probably clean this bunker up a little bit in terms of sculpting and just remove that little notch in the middle. Cannot wait to switch back to Masters Clubs, which we'll do after the stream. I like the way the ponds look in the background. It frames everything nicely. Looks pretty. Oh, I just realized we're on 18, not 17. Nice. So that's our clubhouse area. I think you could probably bring that a little closer. Like you can't quite see it, and there's all this empty space. I think you could fill some of that with a clubhouse and give this like a kind of a stadium feel to it. But overall, a really solid course. Anything that you can play multiple times and not get bored of it at all is a great course. Let's end on a good note. Ah. Well, Cody, thank you for this one. Much appreciated, and best of luck in the contest. This is a really solid entry, and you have a lot to be proud of here. Anyway, onwards. I will pause the stream for a sec, and I will be right back. I'll see everybody in a minute.